evening, race fans, and welcome to the show. Tonight, we have a good one here. It is the Postma Late Model Stock Tour Championship Night here at Kern County. We are jumping into the middle of qualifying here, so a lot of lap times have already been put up on the board. Still expecting a few more. One of those cars just going up on the board. Here's the 33 machine of Justin Brooks. Brooks on lap number 1 will go high in 3 and 4, so he will put all his eggs into one basket. That is the second lap time here for the 33 machine. And there in the standings, you can see why that is 33 machine 12th quick. Though qualifying order doesn't quite matter because Justin Brooks, once again, as we have seen all season long, he will have to start at the back, but he will jump to the top of the timing scoring tower. And Justin Brooks here at Kern County with the quick time at the moment, a 18.22. It looks like Josh Hamilton and Deb McDonald both not going to make a time here tonight. So Justin Brooks there walking away with another pole award this season. So that will do it here tonight for qualifying. Justin Brooks, Riley Duncan, Hayden Swank, Dave Payne, and then Ron Hart rounds out the top 5 in qualifying. So coming into tonight with championship night, the points battle is on, and it is coming down to the wire. Here's how we're looking coming into tonight. Tanner Tallarico in the 1 car, currently leading the way in points. He sits at 378 points. Then 15 points back sits Justin Brooks. So if Brooks can win from starting at the back, that is 5 bonus points to the championship that he has for grabs. So that would only put it a 10-point gap. So that means then Tanner Tallarico cannot finish 10th or worse here tonight. Here tonight as well, I believe 15 cars here. So it's not going to be a cakewalk for the 1 car. He just has to be there at the end of the race and take what he can get. Like I said, second in points sits Justin Brooks, 15 points back. Then 13 points back from Brooks sits the 51 car of Ron Hart. Hart coming into tonight third in points. He needs himself a big night to pass Justin Brooks in second. Doesn't quite have a shot at Tanner Tallarico for the championship. So, and with the guy sitting in fourth, you know, he's about 19 points back. So Hart for sure good enough for third in points. May need some help to get in second. Sitting fourth in points coming into tonight is Stephen Hoffman with 331. Then only 4 points back behind him. Fifth in points, the 48 car of Tim Rogers. So Rogers needs just 4 points better finishing position than Stephen Hoffman here tonight. 6th in points, Dave Payne. 7th, Chuck Darling. 8th would be Zach Coyer, but Coyer not here tonight, so his 8th place in points in jeopardy. 9th is TJ Hansen, and then 10th is Stephen Rochford. Rochford not here tonight. Neither is Zach Hummel, so that could open up the door for Ace Hart maybe to get a top 11 finish here, as he sits 12th in points. Not quite close enough for a top 10, as I think Rochford has enough to lock in for a top 10 finish. So that is what we look like coming into tonight. Now these drivers have 150 laps to do battle, and we got to figure out who will walk away with the win, as well as who's walking away with the Postma Flooring Championship Trophy. So here we go. The starting order for championship night here at Kern County will look like the following. Ace Hart in the 145 machine once again will lead the field down to the green flag. Ace Hart, another pole start here tonight. Tis outside the 906. That is JT Batson rolling off outside of the front row. Then we head to row number 2, rolling off on the inside in P number 3. That going to the 88 of Chuck Darling. Then to Darling's outside, starting in 4th, is the 41 car of TJ Hansen. Starting in 5th is the 48 car. That is Tim Rogers. 6th here tonight is our points leader, the 1 car of Tanner Tallarico. Oh, looks like Chuck Darling will not make the call in 3rd, so that'll move up the inside lane 1 row. Starting in 7th is the 86 of Stephen Hoffman. 8th going to the 51 of Ron Hart. Starting in 9th is the 38 machine of Dave Payne. Starting in 10th, Hayden Swink. Nice to see him out here in a late model stock. That 35 or the 55 on the car. Hayden Swink will start 10th. Starting in 11th is the 97 car Riley Duncan. Nice to see Riley out here once again. And then would be in 12th, but with the shotgun rule, Justin Brooks in the 33 machine. Then behind Brooks, making his first start, Jason Bernstein in the Buckshot 00 car here tonight. Deb McDonald does make the call. He will start 14th in cars, and it looks like Josh Hamilton does not make the call. So it is Hamilton and Darling both not making the call here to at least start the season finale. 150 laps, longest race of the season. We'll have to see how drivers manage that. Get ready here because the iRacing pace car heads off the speedway, and Ace Hart on the loud pedal. We go green flag racing on championship night. Ace Hart down and away. He is by himself. Tim Rogers gets a good run. We'll see what kind of run down the backstretch the 48 car has, as it looks like Batson going to get swallowed up just a little bit there in the 906, but lap number 1 will go to the 145 car of Ace Hart, leading that first lap. Now here comes Tim Rogers, gonna try and get to the inside of the 145, able to clear him off of turn number 2, so Tim Rogers goes out in front. Then the guy that Tim Rogers is battling in points, Stephen Hoffman, has slotted into 2nd. Tanner Tallarico up into 3rd as we get a car stopped or slowed on the front stretch. It is the 1 car of TJ Hassan. So Hassan slow out here. Oh, also Ace Hart here stopped and facing the wrong direction as well. So we may have to see what happened between both of them. Ron Hart also back further there. But let's see what brought out our first caution of the night. That is the 41 car here as they come off of turn number 4 here. Justin Brooks right in front of the 41. He has to lift a little bit, and looks like Hayden Swink just getting into the back bumper of the 41 car right there on exit. So that will turn Hassan on around, and oh man, pretty big contact to that inside wall with that right rear quarter panel. So that 41 machine might have a little bit of damage. Then let's see what happened to the 145. Oh man, Ace Hart, so after the caution flag comes on now, looks like gets tagged in the back bumper by maybe the 906, tries to save the race car, and actually tags his dad there in the 51 as well. So both Harts coming to a stop off of turn number 2. So definitely a wild incident to kick off the night here. Still a long way to go here, but out in front, Tim Rogers gonna get the choose this time by. Looks like, actually, no, not gonna get the choose this time by. Interesting call because we don't have any lap cars or anything like that, so. That's interesting there, so we will do an extra pace lap here. But now this time by, folks, we will get the choose. So the 48 car of Tim Rogers will get the choose of the inside or the outside lane here on the restart. As it looks like Rogers will go inside lane on the front row. That moves Stephen Hoffman to the outside of the front row. Stephen Hoffman, man, he could be a dark horse to win here tonight. Maybe not the darkest of dark horses because he has picked up a checker flag here in the late model stocks at Kern County. Actually, opening night of season number 1 of the late model stocks. The 86 car headed to victory lane here. He's looking to repeat that as he has been on a hot streak with finishing inside the top 5 right now, sits second. But here we go, Tim Rogers in control. Rogers gonna wait on the throttle while we'll fire on off, and we go back to green flag racing here in the Postma Flooring late model stocks. The rest of the field gonna be side by side throughout it. Rogers able to get clear. Hoffman able to find a gap, just slide in front of the nose of the 97 of Duncan. Duncan, though, does have a good run off in turn number 4. We'll get to the inside of the 86. They will go side by side now for P number 3. Tallarico able to get up into second at the moment. Can Tallarico find any more positions? Gonna have his teammate out in front in case he can get some more. But now here comes the guy that started shotgun on the field, Justin Brooks, trying to get away P number 3 from Riley Duncan. Those two will go side by side as the rest of the field starts to file on out just a little bit more. Hoffman able to finally find an opening all the way back in 6th. As here we go, Justin Brooks, Riley Duncan, still side by side. Duncan not making this pass easy here for the 33 machine. Then in front of them here, Tanner Tallarico looking for the race lead. Would love to pick up a bonus point for leading the lap. That will help his championship cause just that little bit more. Would love to leave the most laps, as that would help even more. But this time by, new race leader at the stripe, Tanner Tallarico will lead the lap. Now Tim Rogers under fire from both lanes here as Justin Brooks and Riley Duncan, with Rogers losing that lead. He lost a little bit of time. Both cars able to make up just that little bit more there on the 48. Duncan gonna try the crossover. Brooks won't have any of that. We'll dive it down low. Rogers will give him a lane. Those two will drag race down the backstretch for now P number 2. Justin Brooks has been oh so good to get up and through the field here. He is trying to do that once again here tonight. Now trying to work over the 48 car of Tim Rogers for 2nd position. Rogers going to try and keep him down to the inside as long as possible there. Everyone else through the field, though, single filed out, running their own race. So we had 13 cars take the green flag. So for all 13 cars still on out there. Brooks able to get clear there of the 48. Now Riley Duncan will try and get that spot. But the 48 stuck up in lane number 2. Here comes Riley Duncan back up to P number 3. With those guys all battling in front of them, that opens up the door for Dave Payne, Stephen Hoffman to make up quite a bit of track position out here tonight. So they now able to catch the field, but here we go, battle for the race lead, and it's 1st and 2nd in points. Tanner Tallarico up top in the 1 car, Justin Brooks down low once again in the 33. Off of turn number 4 here, Justin Brooks will lead at the stripe. Tanner Tallarico knows he can give up position, he can give up some points to the 33, but cannot give up every single one, as Tallarico gonna try the crossover move. He'll shoot to the inside of the 33. Drag race down the front stretch, but the momentum going to the 33. Brooks able to fend off the fight from the 1 car, at least this time by. With that move though, Tallarico able to stay into 2nd. Riley Duncan now right on the back bumper of that 1 car. 20 laps completed here tonight. Still 130 still to go. As Tallarico looks like we'll let the 97 machine of Riley Duncan go here. Tallarico will slot into P number 3. That is good enough for him. If things ride out as the way that they're sitting, that is good enough for the 1 car, at least at the moment. Further on back here, Ron Hart involved in that first incident. Later in that caution, he had to start at the back. He has driven up into 7th here, trying to catch this first pack now of 6 cars deep, all about nose to tail, with about at most 2 car lengths between each and every one of them. Then behind Hart in 8th is the 18 machine of Devin McDonald. McDonald had to start towards the back here, did not take a qualifying time. He has found his way into the top 10. He sits 8th. Then JT Batson there in the 906. He sits 9th. And Hayden Swank here at the moment had to tap, I believe tapped on the roof there, had to start towards the back of that restart as well. He has made his way up into the top 10. So out in front, Justin Brooks here trying to keep the pace and match the pace of the 97, but Riley Duncan all over the back bumper here. Let's ride on board with Brooks looking back at the field here. Riding on board with Justin Brooks, you can see the 97 of Riley Duncan able to get into the corner a little bit harder and a little bit better through the middle than Brooks. But Brooks has gotten the momentum and the line just right to be able to get some good drives off the corner. Now Duncan to the inside of Brooks. Those two almost make contact there, but so far clean and green. But that was the first time Duncan will take a look to the inside of Justin Brooks. Now we ride on board with the 8-pillar camera, looking back at the white nose of the 97 here. Duncan trying some different lanes, trying to enter a little bit higher, keep that momentum, and then cut down low on corner exit. Here in 1 and 2, that would be the time to do so. There is some speed up in lane number 2. In turns 1 and 2, 3 and 4, it's a lot tougher here. Don't quite have that little bit extra banking that you do in turns 1 and 2 at Kern County. So it looks like that may be slowing down a little bit. Lap traffic, first time in effect here tonight as they put the 145 machine of Ace 1 lap down here. He'll get up and out of the way. So far, Justin Brooks on the point, but with heavy pressure right behind him of Riley Duncan. Top 3, making a top 7 now, all under a blanket here as Ron Hart has raced down this first pack here and is tagged on to the back of the top 7 now, as he has caught the back bumper of the 86 of Stephen Hoffman. And quite a ways back to Devin McDonald. Hayden Swank up in a 9th, and Batson still hanging on to a top 10 here. 11 sits TJ Hassan, then Jason Bernstein in 12th, Ace Hart in 13th, the first car 1 lap down. So out in front, Justin Brooks giving himself a little bit more breathing room here in that 33 machine. Was able to drive away from Riley Duncan just a little bit. Now about a car length through the corners, 2 car lengths down the straightaway gap between first and second. And that's allowing now Tanner Tallarico to slowly catch the back bumper of our second place driver. Duncan very good in these late model stocks, has ran here and there for both season of these cars. I believe does not have a win. I have to check here in the background with the old stat sheet to see if he has won. I don't recall off the top of my head if Riley Duncan has won here in ASRC, but let me double check my facts here. As yeah, it looks like Duncan, no wins yet, so it would be a big night for the 97 team if he can pick up a win here but he has to do it against some of the best right in front of him and right behind him as well. But that 97 car has been fast in these cars. I mean, he has contended for wins, it seems like, most every time he has jumped in a race, as well as picking up a pole award as well. So that just shows you that 97, he knows how to wheel these race cars. Further towards the back here, Hayden Swank has made the move on Devin McDonald for the 8th position. So now Swank up into 8th here. Further on back here, the 00 able to get around the 41 as well. So, oh, look at that. They said he made some contact, didn't want to pass him that way. So we'll give the 41 car back that spot and say, you know what? I want to earn this thing cleanly and do it the right way. So you got to love to see that sportsmanship out here in ASRC. Head back up to the front pack here. Best battles on the speedway right here. No one has made a move. I think everyone, knowing the amount of laps here tonight, just trying to manage that pace, try and stay with everyone else and see what they have in the car, you know, with about 70 laps to go, 50 laps to go. Right now, still a little bit too early to start cranking up that dial of intensity. As I say that though, Ron Hart will take a peek to the inside of the 86 there into turn number 1. Looks like that time not gonna take a peek there, so Hart will follow in the tire tracks of the freight train in front of him, as Duncan has recaught our race leader within that car length once again. So Justin Brooks, maybe a few laps of breathing room. That has since evaporated once again here tonight. And this is going to get interesting here as they approach now 2 lap cars here. So leader's going to have to be cautious, but also not kill the momentum if they can help it. As you can see there, Duncan so much better into the corner. The question is, can he keep that race car underneath him for all 150 laps? Further on back here, Ron Hart to the outside of Stephen Hoffman. That is a battle for the 6th position here. We'll see if Hart can complete the pass on the outside of the 86 here. Has the advantage going into turn number 3. Definitely not the preferred line here through 3 and 4, but Ron Hart trying to make it work. Now with more advantage, and Ron Hart gets the spot here, as now the leaders into that lap traffic, able to get around one of those cars. Now we'll set their sights on the other one here in about a lap or so, as next time by, we'll only have 100 laps to go left in this one. So only 1 caution flag here so far here tonight, but still a lot of racing left to go in this one, because this time by, we go 100 laps left in this one. Top 3 able to get around that lap car there. So TJ Hansen at the moment going to be the first car 1 lap down here, as Justin Brooks continues to lead the way over Riley Duncan in 2nd. Tanner Tallarico 3rd. Tim Rogers 4th. Dave Payton sits in 5th. 6th is Ron Hart. 7th, Stephen Hoffman. 8th, Hayden Swank. 9th, Devin McDonald. And then JT Batson rounding out the cars on the lead lap and our top 10. So here with these cars rocking and rolling, we're getting some great shots here at the Kern County. And as you can see, Riley Duncan still hounding, still putting the pressure on. That's right on board with Tanner Tallarico. Let's see what he is seeing off the roof of that 1 car as those cars battle out in front of him, as well as keeping an eye on those lap times. Best time at 18.42, last time by 18.71, so definitely a decent amount of fall off these first 50 laps, and it's only going to get worse as these laps continue to click on by here tonight. Justin Brooks starting to try a real wide arc entry into one. We'll have to see if that helps or burns off the right front on that race car. So top three starting to pull away just a little bit as we look now towards the back end of Tanner Tallarico. You can see that gap now to Tim Rogers quite a bit of ways further on back, and I think that's just because tires starting to wear on out just that little bit more. Now you get to really start to see who saved their tires, who kind of pushed it and have gotten them hot. Also with that gap, probably exacerbated just a little bit more with the lap car presence on where you timed and caught those race cars. So we'll throw up the full timing section here, but as you can see, top three starting to check on out just a little bit. Then fourth and fifth still together. Ron Hart once again on his own little island just a little bit here, trying to run his way back up into the top five, trying to catch the back bumper there of Dave Payton. Riley Duncan there, a little bit of connection issues for the 97 car, able to come on back there, but definitely a little bit of time gone from the raceway. Can't have it be too long, or else iRacing can remove you from a session, and that'll be a heartbreak for the 97 as he has run so well here in the first half of this race so far. Ace Hart now going 2 laps down here as the top three starting to accordion just a little bit more closer to each other. Now all three of them within half a second of each other. Let's take a look at lap times here. Last time by, we'll take a look at times here. So Brooks with a 7.1, Duncan a 6.7, Tallarico a 6.9, Rogers a 7.7, Payne a 6.4, Ron Hart a 6.7 as well. So with those lap times, that's telling me Dave Payne and Ron Hart should get around Tim Rogers, as we see that right now there. Dave Payne going to the inside of Tim Rogers. So Payne up into fourth here, as it looks like Rogers starting to struggle with pace with that race car. Last time by, much more even between the top three there. Brooks tying Riley Duncan there, as fourth and fifth there are going to be way slower with that pass here. But it seems like now Ron Hart, Stephen Hoffman could run down this 48 car as well here pretty quickly. As everything's about calm, cool, and collected here at the moment, but I say let's do a little turn 3, turn it up right before the halfway point, and come back to you once we do get that halfway point here. So here's a little turn 3, turn it up from Kern County. Alrighty, folks, we come back here live just before the halfway point here tonight. I tell you what, top three still all under a blanket. Further on back here, battle for fourth as Ron Hart trying to work over the 38 machine of Dave Payton. Tim Rogers did lose those spots to the 51 and the 48, so Rogers currently sits there in the 7th position. Ron Hart inside the top 5, now make it P number 4 as Stephen Hoffman will try and get back into the top 5. He dropped out of it right there at the start, but has since been trying to slowly make his way on up here tonight. This time by at the flag stand, though, it is cross flags here tonight. Halfway down, halfway home in championship night of the Postma Flooring Late Model Stock Tour. Also, some exciting news from ASRC put out this week that next season we will be retiring the late model stocks and we will be back to the big, bad, super late models here with the Postma Flooring Super Late Model Tour kicking off here in about, I want to say about a month or so, as this will be the last night. We'll take a break, give us admins, give myself a little bit of time here on off, enjoy the rest of summer, and then get back in the full swing of things. And I tell you what, it's going to be not miss racing action here with the super late models. I'm hopefully going to be in the field if all circumstances will allow it. That would be super cool to be back behind the wheel of a super late model. Here we go, though. Battle for second position. Tanner Tallarico looking to the inside of Riley Duncan. Duncan starting to lose touch just a little bit to that back bumper of Justin Brooks. Tallarico trying to pick up the pace a little bit. Telling the 91, hey, let's do the same. We can't let Brooks get too comfortable out in front here tonight. I believe we saw our first car down on pit road. The 145 machine of Ace Hart taking some of those tires here. As Duncan gets big time loose in 1 and 2. This could open up the door for Tallarico for a second. Duncan will get the run there. Tallarico, though, will drive it in deep. He'll get to the inside of the 97. They will drag race down the front stretch. Also right there as well, you see the white and blue 906 car going one lap down. So now it is JT Batson going to be the lucky dog if we do get a caution flag. But Duncan able to defend the charge from the 1 car here. That time by a little bit high through the corner and on exit for Duncan. That'll open up the door once again for Tallarico. Tallarico going to try and get this pass done as quickly as he can. Oh, his contact between the two of them. Riley Duncan somehow hangs onto that race car. Man, that could have been very bad for the 97 as well as our points leader in the 1 car. But somehow Duncan makes a heck of a save there. And we stay green flag racing. So about 65 laps left in this contest here tonight. As Justin Brooks still leading the way. The question is, fuel was right on the edge. So with that caution, they should be in theory good enough to go to the end. It all comes down to that pace though. And then the other bigger question, will these tires, these right side tires, hang on to the end of this one with still 65 laps left in the race here tonight? Last time by, Tallarico was about just under a 1/10 of a second quicker than Justin Brooks. Has about a second gap to our race leader now inside of that 1 second mark. So Tallarico could have the pace to catch the 33. The question is the 33 just watching that gap, watching that pace, saying, hey, we can afford to give up some time here, take care of these tires, and then when the attack comes, we'll be sitting in a pretty good spot. So let's ride on board with Justin Brooks. I say we ride on board with the helmet cam, see what exactly this 33 car is doing here and how he is running this pace. So let's ride on board with Justin Brooks, our race leader. Some things I can hear right away with riding on board with Brooks is that he is very precise and defined on that throttle pedal. You hear right there, maybe rolling into it just a little bit, then quickly mashing on it. That helps the race car turn itself, have to have less steering wheel and after the apex. The other thing, he's taking it nice and easy on corner entries, so trying to preserve that right front tire, keep the heat out of it. And that is what he's doing here tonight, as now we'll ride on board with second, see what Tallarico is doing to try and catch our race leader. And you can see with Tallarico driving it into the corner just a little bit more, trying to keep the shortest distance around the racetrack here tonight. Enters in on the lower side, tries to put the lefts right on that white mark, but you can see Tallarico really working this race car. You see the steering wheel, the marker on it, just moving back and forth. He is trying to drive that car to the limit. Also, look at this, folks. Ron Hart has driven up to the podium spot, was able to get around Riley Duncan, so Hart sits P number 3. And I tell you what, he has been picking away at these gaps, and he has been managing some of the best average pace out of any car here tonight at Kern County. Everyone really spread out now here. Closest battle is that first and second position, about 0.6 of a second. Everything else very spread out here. So these drivers at the moment just trying to manage their race, trying to manage their pace, and see if they have enough left in the tank to make it to the end. As one other car now has visited pit road, the 906 of JT Batson has came down, so Batson will give up that lucky dog position, but we'll have fresh tires underneath that 906. So then at the moment, TJ Hassan in the 41 machine, currently the lucky dog candidate, but has the 00 of Jason Bernstein right there within 3 car lengths. So it could be anyone's race for the lucky dog, but they gotta be careful because the leader is coming to put them now gonna be 2 laps down. As Tanner Tallarico has shrunk that race lead now within half a second. This time by at the stripe. It is now 50 laps to go here in the season finale. Further on back, Stephen Hoffman making a quick move on Riley Duncan. I think Duncan's starting to lose some tire, whether it's the right front or the right rear. We'll have to keep an eye on this 97 car. Looks like maybe it's tough to tell with him running that high, but with the way that car gets loose right before he fully gets on the throttle, yeah, with that car getting that loose, I have a feeling that right rear on the 97 car starting to go away in a hurry. Can Duncan make it to the end? It's going to be a long way to go if he can, as he is bleeding lap time very quickly here. And that is the fine line these drivers have to run here, is keep that pace or risk blowing one of these tires out, really affecting your race here. As now we see, I believe, Duncan coming down pit road. As yeah, we see the 97 car here pull it down pit road. Well, it looks like called a night as well. Further towards the back here, Hayden Swank getting around Tim Rogers. So Swank has driven now up into 6th position here. Hayden Swank, one of those guys picking and choosing his late model stock races. Gonna run the one here tonight, and he is always a force to be reckoned with, but that 35 machine needs a caution before the end of this one. And right behind them, oh, that might be the caution there, as Dev McDonald, Ace Hart get together. Hart will be stopped at the top of the track, and that will be the time for all these drivers to get new tires and come down on pit road. So we kind of saw that one happen live here. We'll take a look one more time as the 145 already sideways, but here we go. I think just maybe a missed time pass by the 18 machine of McDonald as going down the backstretch. Yeah, I think Devin just should have been maybe a little bit lower in case that 145 lifted at his normal spot like that. But here we go. We got to see how this will work on out. Tanner Tallarico staying on out. The rest of the field down on pit road. Oh, man, oh, man. Was that the right call by the one car of Tallarico? We'll have to find out as Justin Brooks rolls away with right sides. Same with the 51 machine of Ron Hart. Looks like Stephen Hoffman will be the next off. Then Hayden Swank. Like I said, Hayden Swank needed that caution flag. He got one right when he needed it. Looks like Dave Payne will get rolling, as well as the 48 machine of Tim Rogers. He will get rolling off the speedway as well. Tallarico going to choose to come down a lap later, lead a lap, but then take those tires here this time by. So Tallarico, right sides going up on the one car. Will he take the left sides as well? Looks like yes, he will. Gonna wait for those tires, left sides to go on up as well. So with that, that will cycle back out Justin Brooks to the race lead. And pretty much at the moment with the cars one lap down and not, Tanner Tallarico just has to beat, I believe, one other car. But here we go. Justin Brooks, Ron Hart on the front row. Justin Brooks will elect the outside lane here. And it's going to be a 40 lap shootout with about, I want to say, you know, we just had a 100+ lap run. It all comes down to a 40 lap shootout here tonight in this one. Justin Brooks, Ron Hart on the front row. Here we go. The iRacing pace car heads off the racing surface, and we wait for the 33 to fire on off. Brooks will wait to the very last second, but here we go. Ron Hart gonna try and stay to the inside of the 33. Won't quite be able to do it. Justin Brooks will slam the door shut. Ron Hart will slot into second. Here comes Hayden Swank looking for third. Well, man, right there, Ron Hart almost gets into the back bumper of Justin Brooks there. And I think Hart trying to keep that position from Swank and almost got the 33 machine. Brooks, though, out in front. Hart sits second. Swank in Pete, number 3. Man, what a rebound it would be for Swank here to not run many of these late model stock shows, but to come into tonight, have a chance at the win. That would definitely be something awesome. Stephen Hoffman sits 4th, Dave Payne 5th, Tanner Tallarico up into 6th, and at the moment, that is what will be enough for the one car of Tallarico, I believe, on the points. If he can get any more spots, that would be that much better, that much icing on the cake. But right now, Justin Brooks driving away in the front of the field in that 33 machine. Last time by, Justin Brooks did his best lap time, the only car in the 18-1s. As Brooks trying to drive on away here and doing just that. This time by at the stripe, we will have about 35 laps to go. So about 10 laps to go, folks, till we get to the countdown clock. As with pit cycles, now only 7 cars sit on the lead lap here. As further towards the front here, Tanner Tallarico putting the pressure on Dave Payton. Tallarico has to be smart and calculated with every move from here on out. Cannot afford to get caught up in a wreck. Cannot afford to cause a wreck. As here we go, Tallarico putting the pressure on Payton. Payton knows he has a lot to race for. We'll let him on by. So Tallarico back up to the top 5. He sits 5th. Further towards the front here, maybe Justin Brooks letting off the pace just a little bit. That has allowed Ron Hart to be within now 0.2 of a second of our race leader. Hart will look to the inside of Brooks. Hart and Brooks get together. Somehow Justin Brooks will hang on to that race car. But I know Justin Brooks won't be happy with that move here tonight. Brooks will fall to P number 3 there with contact between first and second. Now we'll look to the inside of Hayden Swank here. Brooks gonna be driving like a man on a mission these last 30 laps here. As Hayden Swank will now try and hold off the 33 machine for as long as he can. Further on back, Tanner Tallarico has caught in the back bumper of the 86 of Stephen Hoffman. That could be a battle here for that 4th position before long. As Ron Hart out here in front, he is now getting caught a little bit by Hayden Swank and Justin Brooks. Brooks now looking to the inside of Swank for second. Those two will drag race here down the front stretch. And now Justin Brooks up into P number 2. We saw contact between these two cars multiple times this season. Will it end in a bang with these two, with now going to be about 25 laps left to go in this one? Justin Brooks definitely has the pace to run him on down. That last time by about half a tenth faster than half a tenth faster Justin Brooks was than Ron Hart. So he has enough time with the amount of laps left here. Oh man, oh man. It's about to be a wild finish and a wild way to send off this 2025 Summer Series of the Postma Flooring Late Model Stocks. Further towards the back here, Tanner Tallarico still putting the pressure on Stephen Hoffman. Hoffman there gets big time loose off turn number 2. Tallarico will close up just that little bit more on the 86. Now right on the back bumper for 4th. Further up towards the front here, if there's one guy that wants to run away and hide, it's a 51 of Ron Hart. Oh man, him and Brooks make contact as, oh man, Ron Hart will smack the wall big time hard and make a lot of contact there. But Justin Brooks out to the race lead here once again with 21 laps to go. Hayden Swank has filed into now 2nd position here, as it looks like Ron Hart will call it a night, and the 51 must have something broken on that race car with that big time wall hit. So that time by at the stripe, it is now 20 laps to go in this one. Justin Brooks out front with the race lead here at the moment. Hayden Swank in P number 2. Stephen Hoffman has made it up into 3rd, but still under heavy pressure from our points leader, Tanner Tallarico. So best battle on the speedway is this battle continuing on between the 86 and the 1 car. It is now for a podium spot to chat with me at the end of the night. As out in front though, Justin Brooks continues to lead the way here. The cars racing for the lucky dog, that is Deb McDonald, in a kind of a healthy gap to TJ Hassan there in the 41. Both those cars sitting one lap down. Same with the 00, making, I believe, his first ever start, at least with the Postma Flooring late model stocks, is Jason Bernstein. All those cars sitting one lap down. Then JT Batson sits 3 laps down. Ron Hart out of this one, so then it is the next car still out on track, the 145 of Ace Hart as well. Got time by at the flag stand. It is 15 laps to go here tonight in the season finale, so we are 9/10 of the way there to crown our champion for the Summer Series. Justin Brooks has driven his heart out each and every race, but as they sit right now, he is just gonna come up short for our championship hunt for the 33 machine. As Brooks will try and put the 145 machine another lap down here. So he will do that turn through turns 1 and 2. Hayden Swank will follow. Now how well can Stephen Hoffman get on by? Catches him at the worst time. Tallarico could maybe capitalize on this just a little bit. Able to get within half a car length there through turns 1 and 2. If there's anything at the end of this race Tallarico needs to figure out is just how to get around this 86. He doesn't have to force the issue though. He sits in a good enough spot in the points here. As Justin Brooks, like I was saying, fought as hard as he could every time he loaded on in and was there at the end of a race. He may be picking up a checkered flag, but with the races he missed, it is just going to fall him short. As that time by 2 open palms from the flag man, it is 10 laps to go. Another great story we have going here tonight. Hayden Swank, I believe probably his second or third at most late model stock start ever. He sits P number 2 here and sitting in a great spot. I mean, involved in the first incident, had to start on the back row with the claim. He has driven his way up into the podium here, and he sits second. And Stephen Hoffman, the guy that has been Mr. Consistent. Hoffman came into tonight just a little bit too far back to beat Ron Hart in points, but Hoffman having a great season. Did miss a few races, so that's what brought him down to, I believe, 4th in points. But overall, when he has been there at the end, it seems like he has been in contention for sure for every top 5 and a podium spot as well. And then we go to our points leader coming into tonight. The 1 car of Tanner Tallarico has been Mr. Consistent, especially after the first third of this season. He had a really rocky season last season, just couldn't get the finishes he kind of deserved, especially at the end of the races. Seemed like anything and everything would happen to the 1 car here this season. Started off a little bit rough, didn't have the expectations and the kind of confidence that you need, but since that quarterway mark has been then since on, it seems like almost every podium, as well as for sure in that top 5, has not missed a race, and that has been the difference here for this one team to pick up, I believe it will be Tanner Tallarico's first ever championship. I think maybe back in the day, maybe an Xfinity championship for the 1 car, but for sure his first ever short track championship sits 3 laps away here tonight. This time by at the stripe, the 33 machine once again this season We'll see popsicle sticks up in the air. It is 2 laps to go left here in this one. Justin Brooks here off of turn number 4. We'll see the white flag. This race is official. We are racing back to the checkered, and Justin Brooks doesn't even have to pass these lap cars here. Can take his time, take it easy, and that is looking like what he'll do. And off of turn number 4, Justin Brooks picks up yet another checkered flag. He will win here at championship night at Kern County. Hayden Swank will finish second. Stephen Hoffman will round out the podium. But don't go anywhere, folks, because we will also talk to the 1 car of Tanner Tallarico as well. Man, oh man. And folks, that will wrap up yet another season of the Postma Flooring late model stocks, as the field will come to a stop here on the front stretch. We will go to a quick commercial break. I'll take a break from yapping, get everyone lined on up, and we will be talking with our podium finishers here in just one short moment. But here we go. Tanner Tallarico gonna take a victory lap here for picking up that championship here in the late model stocks.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks. Sorry about that wait. Had to get everything set on up, getting everything ready. So the first driver we'll be talking to here tonight is our 3rd place finisher here, the 86 machine of Stephen Hoffman. Steven, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
What's going on, Brett?
Oh man. How we feeling after a long race here tonight? 150 laps. How we feeling?
Not too bad. The first half was a lot more fun than the second half, I think. After tires there, we got really tight. We only took right sides. And then it took until about the last 10 laps in the race, and that right rear started to free up some, and the car was drivable again. But it was a long race, lots of fun, a lot of green flag racing. And we ended up 3rd, so pretty happy with it.
Yeah, overall, another great race. You know, Steven, it seems like every time you load on in, battling within that top 5. on the podium once again. And here tonight, how was this car? And I mean, how were those tires feeling before you had to take them off on this race car? How were they looking?
They were feeling pretty good. The spotter was coming on and naming off Justin's times, and he's in the same Discord. And he said he was saving when he would run hard. He'd run a little bit quicker, but I was still around the 18 low 18 sixes. So I was kind of sad to see that caution came out because I think we had a good car in the long run. We still had plenty of life in the right sides. I think we could have caught Tanner. We reeled Riley in. I think Ron was starting to fall off. So hated to see that caution came out, but it still worked out.
Yeah, that it did. And I think it sounds like, Steven, you were just hoping for more green flag laps there at the end, right?
Yeah, I had the relative on, and like I said, you just every lap it was just getting closer and closer to the next guy. And like I said, I could see Ron. He mow-docked us there in that first middle stage, and then it seemed like when he got past Riley, he got to Tanner, and then he kind of just fell off, it looked like. So we were starting to catch him, and then I knew Tanner was just a couple of laps away from probably doing the same thing, and we were able to go by him. We were saving a bunch, so.
Yeah, that definitely seemed like the plan. And on kind of the flip side, besides the tires, were you looking good on fuel without that caution to add some if needed?
I leave the crew chief to decide on that. We always go one lap on the margin for a green, white, checkered. So we took a little bit of fuel there on the pit stop, I believe. But it looks like we had about 15 laps left. So.
That is a good call. Good call. Well, another great race, Kern County. A pretty fun track, and like you said, a lot of green flag laps. Always awesome. And Steven, I don't know if you heard, but next season going to the super late model. How are we feeling about that change with the success you've had in the late model stocks?
Pretty happy about it. Right before we quit running them, I felt like I was starting to just figure them out. I ain't drove them in, it's probably been a year or two, honestly. So we'll have to load those up and get some practice time in for them. I think we got about a month break, but after the momentum from this one, I'm pretty excited for the next season.
Yeah, and I tell you what, even with you missing a few races this season, you were able to walk away fourth in points. So top 5 in points, that is definitely something impressive there. Like I said, especially with the races you missed, it could have been even better, but still a great points run. And like you said, probably going to be a lot of momentum going into next season with that as well.
Yeah, I try not to let this points racing get to me, but it was actually kind of fun doing it for once. Last week, our internet provider decided to do some scheduled maintenance apparently around 4:30, and it didn't get turned on until the next morning, so that ruined our shot at third. We had a couple bad finishes earlier this year, just not being patient. And then I think we had the one at Bristol. We were leading that one and it got spun out, and then unfortunately that mishap at Sobo. But to run that close to Tanner still and have a few bad races and end up missing one was pretty good.
Yeah, that it is. So then, we always got to look to the future. What's your expectations then going into the super late model series then?
Just slowly start picking them away. Like to get a bunch of podiums. A couple wins here and there would be nice. But I think at the end of the day, if you're trying to points race, I come to conclusion, if you just let everybody else hash their stuff out and just knock out some top 5s and top 3s, it'll all work out.
Yeah, that it will. And you were knocking out those top 5s, top 3s as well. It seemed like a lot of times here, especially second half of the season. So, Steven, once again, congrats on the great finishes. Congrats on a great season, P number 4 in points. So, before we let you go and get a nice little break with the off season, we're going to go hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank for this season-long success, whether sponsors, teammates, anyone else you want to give a shout-out to here on the broadcast.
Shout out to Justin and Hayden. They're usually in the same Discord as I. Justin helps us out a little bit and gives us some tips and pointers. He's obviously figured these things out very well. Hayden's always right there. We're battling out the same. He's very clean racer. Same with Tanner. Shout out to you for doing the broadcast. It's always fun to go back and watch. Tanner, David, Tim, Andrew for putting the league on, yourself included. And just shout out to, I think Mom and Dad are probably watching, and whoever else is tuned in, checking us out.
All right.
Can't forget that Postma flooring also. Big shout out to those guys.
Oh, for sure, Steven. And yeah, once again, shout out to you, my man, as another great season. Thanks again for being part of it. Now getting into one of those veteran statuses of ASRC, as you've ran now many of seasons with us. So, Steven, we appreciate you coming on out, having some fun with us, and we look forward to seeing this 86 machine fighting for the wins in maybe a championship next season.
Let's fingers crossed.
All righty, Steven. Well, have yourself a great off season, and I'm sure we'll pick back on up right where we left off here tonight.
Yep. Hopefully we'll might get the street stocks out tomorrow and have some fun before we get a month off and take a break from the sim for a little bit. But we'll see you next time, Brett.
All right. Well, Steven, take care and have a good one, my man. All righty, folks. That was our third place finisher, the 86 of Steven Hoffman. Now we'll head up to our runner-up finisher, that being the 35 machine of Hayden Swank. Hayden, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
I got you, Brett. How's it going?
Oh, man, pretty good. How are you feeling, my man, after a long race, 150 laps at Kern County, and you end up runner-up here tonight?
Yeah. Did not think that was going to happen at any point tonight, so definitely excited to finish the season out with the second place here.
Yeah, and I was trying to remember, Hayden, when was the last time you were in a late model stock? I mean, it's been a minute since we've seen you out here, seen you in a late model stock, and you pick up pretty much right where you left off, a runner-up finish. Man, that is awesome, especially a runner-up finish to Justin Brooks, who has been on a tear in these cars.
Yeah. I will say, it was definitely good to get up here and have a solid run. Haven't had one of those in this car in a while. And I mean, just to be running next to Justin, I mean, it still means you're doing a pretty good job. So definitely excited.
Yeah, and going with your race, involved with that first incident, I mean, what was your mindset after that point?
I mean, I was just like, at first I felt dumb. Apologized to TJ for taking him out there. It was just completely misjudged where he was on the track. So after that, I was just like, well, got no track position. It's going to be tough to pass out here. I might as well go tire conservation and hope we go at this point like 145 laps green. And even by the end of that green flag run, I think it was starting to pay off for us. Worked our way to the top 5, and I knew we were going to have a few more coming to us. Think we were the fastest car on the track there for a few laps near the end, so it was paying off. But I'm not sure we would have been able to, overcome a 7-second gap in like 40 laps.
Yeah, and I was just saying right before the caution came out, you needed a caution because we were keeping an eye on that pace. We saw that pace that you had. Then we do get that caution. Everyone's bunched up. What was the thought with the game plan with tires, as well as then the restart, knowing, hey, we probably aren't going to get another one if we don't get one right away, right?
Yeah, it was definitely once that caution came, I was like, all right, we got to take advantage of it. And then I drove like that was going to be it from there on out.
Yeah, and I tell you what, you were driving the wheels off that car, and you got a front row seat between the battle between Ron Hart and Justin Brooks. I mean, at one point I thought you were going to sneak away with it if those two got into each other a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of my only plan to win there at the end. Once Ron had moved Justin out of the way, I was kind of gaining on Ron, but Justin was gaining on me harder. And I felt like my only, way to win in the long run was if I kind of saved my tires like I did before. And whether those two wrecked each other or not, or just burnt their stuff up, I knew that was going to be the only way I punched my ticket to a win here.
Yeah, but overall, a runner-up finish, always a great finish. And Hayden, next season announced for the super late models, going back to our roots. We know you're a veteran of ASRC. How you feeling going back to the super late models? You think you'll fight for yet another championship in the supers?
Yeah. Not sure if you remember or not, but I've definitely got some unfinished business there. Um, yeah, a few runner-ups. So I'll say this: we've been competitive in these cars, but the supers are going to be where I shine. And I'm not sure it matters who shows up. I think we're going to be, a strong contender for this championship.
Yeah, I agree with that, Hayden. And myself, knowing racing around you a lot, especially in those super late models, you always are a force to be reckoned with those things. So it's going to be exciting to see how that all shakes out. I hope you're excited as I am to go back to the supers.
Yeah, I am stoked. These late model stocks have been fun, and I think a world where we can, flip back and forth is going to be the best way forward. But when I think of the ASRC, I still think of the super late model. So I'm really excited to get the series back going, get the gang back together, and hopefully have a really solid car count. Keep it going.
Yeah, I think we definitely will, especially as real life racing starts to wrap on up and all that good stuff. It's going to be an exciting season when we kick back off. So, Hayden here tonight, able to walk away with a podium, a runner up finish at that. So, before we let you go, my man, and celebrate it, we're going to go hand over the mic to you for the season and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you want to give a shout out to on the broadcast.
Yeah, well, I just want to, give a huge shout out to Postma Flooring for stepping on board to, support the Super Late Model Series next season, as well as supporting the Late Model Stock Tour for this season. It's been an awesome place to race. Also, just want to thank the ASRC and everybody I've raced with this season. It's been a really great season on the whole, as far as racing goes, competition. Even though I haven't been here for all of it, still, no better place to race. In the ASRC, and looking forward to running it back for a full season here in a few weeks.
Yeah, and that we are as well. And Hayden will be pulling for you for that championship because, like we said before, you're going to be a force to reckon with. So, Hayden, you, my man, have a great rest of the night. Have a good off season, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again, or maybe even hopefully racing with you as well. Who knows, right?
Yeah, I'd love to. You do a heck of a job behind the microphone, but I'd love to find a way to race with you, Andrew, everybody. I think it'd be a good time.
Oh, that would be. So, Hayden, you, my man, have a great rest of the night, and we'll talk to you here sometime in the near future.
Yes, sir. I will catch you for the next one.
Alrighty, folks, that was our runner up finisher, the 35 machine of Hayden Swank. Now we'll head down to our race winner, picking up yet another checkered flag. It is the 33 of Justin Brooks. Justin, you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, man, what's going on?
Oh man, how we feeling after a slightly longer race, 150 laps here at Kern County? How we feeling, my man?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Can't really complain about too much.
Yeah, and I tell you what, it seemed like you had some of the most pressure you've ever had in a race all night long, whether it was Riley Duncan, Tanner Tallarico, Ron Hart, and you were able to overcome all that and pick up yet another checkered flag in a row here in the late model stocks to wrap up the season.
Oh yeah, man. It was like I said, the track's a lot of fun. Had some pretty good long runs there, and I was hoping it was going to go green to the end. But unfortunately, I had that yellow, and then stuff, whatever happened on that restart, and then the race at the end, just getting to the check flag.
Yeah, and that you were able to be the first car once again to get to that checkered flag. And yeah, that green flag run, over 100 laps. How were those tires feeling? How was the pace feeling? Because it seemed like whenever you got a gap, just managing that pace. Then if someone got close, you'd turn it back up. Was that the case for you here tonight?
Yeah, I was just trying to run fast enough pace to keep it out front. Riley was driving the absolute heck out of it there early on. I guess he was just wanting to set the pace himself. So I was just trying to run the pace I wanted. If he got by me, he got by me, which he never did, and try to save the right rear. And I know when we pitted there, I had plenty of tire left. I had enough easily to make it to the end, and I felt like I really would have shown my strength in the long run because, I mean, my car was not getting loose at all. I was just keeping the car straight and keeping the wheel straight, and everything was good. So, I mean, it setup drove great.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like a really good, once again, fast race car under you here tonight, Justin, once again. And I mean, did the track change much for you? I mean, starting in the sunset, going into the night, was there anything you really had to change, or was it all about just managing these tires in case we did go green to the end?
Oh, you definitely just manage the right rear. I mean, you're going to always have to do it here because all the corners are an exit, two completely different corners. It was a little loose if you drove it hard as you could and you didn't hit your line right. you would just slide. So I mean, it's all about conserving the right rear. Because I mean, when I pitted, my right rear was worn a little bit more than my right front, even with me saving. So I could definitely tell that it was on the free side balance wise. And I mean, just filling the car out as was as well. So I mean, it was a really good racing setup, that's for sure.
Yeah, that it was another great race and another checkered flag for you, Justin. So I don't know if you've heard, but next season going to the super late models. How do you feel about those cars? You thinking about jumping in behind a super? Because we've seen how you run in these late model stocks, and it's impressive.
We'll see. Super late models used to be my favorite car before I quit iRacing several years ago, but I'm not a fan of the way they drive now. I mean, it depending on the track, I might show up, but I mean, I'm definitely not going to be showing up every week for them. Just unless they fix the car. There's a lot they need to fix with the car and just the how it drives in general. But we'll see. I mean, like I said, it can be a good car, mainly probably depending on the setup, I'm sure, because fixed setups. I mean, we'll see, but I can't rule it out too much. We'll see.
Yep, and I agree with you there. I think the newest generation of the Super, they built it too much like a NASCAR style car where it just seems like it's just all about that right front, which we all know is not how a short track car should drive. It should always be on the right rear.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty, Justin. Well, once again, congrats on yet another checkered flag here this season. So we'll let you get rocking and rolling here at a decent time tonight. I know the race was a little bit longer. So here for the final time this season, my man, with a great season underneath the belt here for the 33 machine. We're going to go hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you want to shout out to for another for pretty much your first ever full-time season and a very successful one at that.
First and foremost, I want to thank everybody that ran me clean the entire season. Emphasis on clean. That's all I'm about. And I don't appreciate being ran a certain way, which I showed that tonight. I had to take care of some business, but I want to thank everybody that raced me clean. It was a long season, had a bunch of fierce battles with a lot of great competitors. It was a lot of fun starting in the back and having to work for it each and every week. Thank you guys for putting this league on. Thank you for doing all you do behind the scenes and putting these broadcasts on as well. Everybody out there watching, thank my girlfriend, and give a shout out to Tanner in the championship. I wasn't sure about the points still after looking at it, how the points added up, but after redoing my math and all, it seems like he's got it. So congratulations to him. I wish Sobo didn't happen because I mean we might be talking about the championship right now, but hey, can't control what you can't control. So congratulations to him. He had a hell of a season. He was consistent all season and fast. So I want to give a shout out to him. He deserved it.
Yeah, and I tell you what, we appreciate that, Justin. I'm sure he does. And I got to give a shout out to you, my man. The way you came into the season and just lit the world on fire, that is something way in and of itself very, very impressive. So, Justin, thank you for spending your Tuesday nights with you, putting on the great shows that you did, and being part of the racing action, man. It's been a fun season. Hopefully you had a good one as well.
Yeah, man. Like I said, thank you again. Thank you for everything you do. It's been a pleasure.
And that it has for you as well, Justin. Always great chatting with you. So, Justin, you, my man, have yourself a great rest of the night. Have a great off season, and we look forward to seeing you. So that was our race winner here tonight, the 33 machine of Justin Brooks. And I think we may have some extra calculations going on for the points, just trying to do some final numbers, get everything set in stone. So I guess we won't be talking to 4 cars here tonight, just the finishers of the race here tonight. So I guess we'll run it to the race results and then get things up and out of the way and do some final calculations. So here tonight, Justin Brooks picks up the win here in the 33 machine. Hayden Swank in the 35 will finish second. Stephen Hoffman in the 86 rounding out the podium. Then finishing in fourth is the 1 car of Tanner Tallarico. Dave Payton will finish inside the top 5. The 38 car will finish fifth. 6th going to the 48 of Tim Rogers. 7th, the 18 of Dev McDonald. 8th going to TJ Hassan in the 41. Jason Bernstein is his first ever start, finishes in the top 10. He will finish 9th, and JT Batson in the 906 will knock off another top 10 finish. Ace Hart will finish 11th, 12th going to Ron Hart, 13th is Riley Duncan. Then Chuck Darling and Josh Hamilton did not make a start. So that will do it for our final race recap here of the season. Of course, we got to thank each and every one of you guys tuning on in here live and all the replay viewers. We appreciate each and every one of you. Of course, we got to give a huge shout out to Postma Flooring coming on board with this season as well as next season for the super late model. So that is very exciting news, as well as we got to thank all the drivers taking their time to put on the show with all of us, as well as the admins and everyone else here at ASRC to make things happen. We also got to thank LaPlante Racing Products coming on board for yet another Triple Crown Challenge this season, and I believe next season, as well as Boardwalk Subs. So that will do it here tonight from the summer series, wrapped on up for the Postma Flooring late model stocks. And yeah, I've been Brett the Jet with Turn 3, also partnered with Premier Setup. So if you wouldn't mind, there's a link in the description that will take you over to their website. Show our support as they support us and allow us to what we're able to do. So that'll do it here tonight, here from Kern County and the summer series of the late model stock Postma Flooring. And that will do it. So everyone, take care, stay safe, have a great rest of your week, great off season, and we'll catch you in about a month's time for the fall series of the Postma Flooring Super Late Model Series. So I've been Brett the Jet in the booth, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.